Percentages on the SAT are very, very difficult. If you see them, you've got to be kind of on alert and be aware that there's probably traps. It's best if we can memorize how to work with exponential growth or percentage change. These are things that we need to be confident with. We need to have a good system so we don't fall for the traps. The system that I use is the open formula, okay? I've made this up. I made this up because I needed a system, and it basically gets it right every time as long as we memorize how to deal with it. So in this case, since it's growth, we're going to have a slightly modified version of the open formula. O stands for original, that's the original value we start with. P stands for percentage, and in this case, it's a 1 plus or minus because the percentage is changing from some original amount. I'll explain that more in a second. The E stands for equals and the N stands for new. And because it's an exponential equation, we would have some sort of variable on top of the percentage, so T in this case. So when we talk about a 2% growth, the most important thing is that the 2% becomes the decimal version of itself. So 0.02, and you can see where a choice like A or B starts to get really tempting. They seem to have the 2, but it's not accurate and it's not even in the right place. When we put it into our formula, we're going to put it here, 1 plus 0.02 to the T. So that is where our percentage is going to come from. The 1 represents the 100%, the 2 represents the additional percent that we're adding on, and so 1.02 is the way that we're actually going to see this appear in the equation. So in this case, I don't know what the 50 means, but it is my original amount. Whatever the story would have said, that's the original amount, and then I would put in some number of months or years or whatever for T, and I would get a new amount based on the equation. The key component, though, is that if we're doing a 2% growth, what's really happening mathematically is that we are finding 102% of our original value, right? That's why it's 1.02. That looks kind of like 102% if we were to convert it. So choice C is the trap, because they know you're going to see the 2%. They know you're going to have to remember how to deal with it, and you're going to convert it into a decimal, but that would just be finding 2% of 50 every year or whatever, and that's going to make it much smaller, whereas what we want to do is show the growth. So the 1 plus the percentage is what shows the growth. Memorize this open formula, get comfortable using it, and percentages and exponentials will not be a problem for you anymore.